Hello, this is Jessica with On a Stack of Books, and today I'm going to be doing my September reading wrap-up. And this is what I read in the month of September. It was a very good reading month, and I'm going to go through each one. So let's get started. So the first one is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy, and this is a really fantastic read. This is about this family of four. It's a father, Dominic Salt, and his three children, and he has a daughter, Fen, a son, Raph, and Orly, and they are on this remote island that's very close to Antarctica, and they are there alone. They're there, their job, or the reason why they're there, is because they are maintaining this seed vault. It's the world's largest seed vault, making sure that it's okay, you know, that the temperature stays where it's supposed to be, and then they live on this island. Researchers, scientists come periodically and check out the seeds, do some research. They study the island. They're also cataloging and sorting, but the weather on the island is deteriorating. It's bad. The weather just, it just gets more and more dangerous. And so for them living there, it's becoming not safe. A particularly bad storm washes a woman onto the shore, and the daughter finds her, and miraculously she lives. And so as the story unfolds, they have questions, she has questions, they want to know how she came to the island, why she came to the island. She wants to know why they're there alone and why it's so dangerous now, why they're there, why they're staying there. And so there's some secrets on both sides. I did a read with me, walk with me vlog on this, so I went into a lot of detail, and I read the first 3 sections. So you can go watch that if you want more information. Really, really good read. It was awesome. The second one is The Scent Keeper, and this one also is a remote island where it is a father and daughter, and they live there by themselves. They are sort of survivalists, they're hunting, gathering, they're providing for themselves, and they're living simply. But she's young, she's a child, and the father does tell her there's a certain beach where they have, in like the morning they will go walking, and the night before they will have discovered that there was a mermaid party. And it's sort of like when there's a party and there's stuff scattered about and all like the confetti and all this kind of stuff, and they find treasures. But these treasures are not, just washing ashore magically. The father is getting things that he cannot find on the island for himself. So you figure out that he has connections outside of this island. And as his daughter gets a little bit older, she gets more curious, and she's starting to wonder and have questions about where they live and the outside world. But while they are there, he has this magical machine that is sort of like a Polaroid camera, where you take a picture and it captures the scent of that moment. And the scents are not like, oh, it's a lilac, or it's, single solitary scents. It's like memories, like when you smell your baby's, the top of their head, when you are home and it's cozy and maybe you've made food and it just smells homey, and it's these memories, these moments. And he prints them out, and they're like little pieces of paper, and they go into a jar. He seals them with wax, and they go up on this wall shelf. So of course she's fascinated by this and has lots of questions, but he's not telling her anything. So she grows, she becomes more curious, and so she sort of puts some things into motion that she can't undo, and in this attempt to know more, and she does find herself off of the island, and she uses her sense of smell is so heightened and so finely tuned because of how she grew up and how he raised her, and some people see this as very odd, and then other people see it as a talent and a gift, and so she's navigating her world and her way and as she's growing up. But it was just really fascinating. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend reading it. The next one is The Cellar, and this one I was so super excited to read. I thought it was going to be really scary, and I had high hopes for it. I got to page 172 and I just was like, I'm not finishing this. It was disappointing. It was not scary. There was parts of it, the storyline and like the idea, the premise was very scary, but the way it was written, it just became predictable. It became flat. It became so there's this guy, and they call him Clover, and he kidnaps women and he calls them his flowers, and he has them live in a basement, and he brings them food and provides for them, brings them books and movies, and they spend their day cleaning, watching movies, reading books, and having dinner ready for him when he gets home. This is his ideal family. And so his flowers, when he kidnaps them, he renames them. So he has Lily, Rose, Violet, and Poppy. And then you do find out that there have been several or multiple lilies. There's been multiple violets because, the girl didn't work out and he killed her. So he is a psychopath, and obviously the idea is terrifying, and but it wasn't well written. I didn't like it, and I just couldn't keep going because it just so I DNF'd it, even though I really wanted to read it, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be like exactly like the most terrifying thing. Thought it was gonna be great, and I was disappointed, so I did not finish that one. We are on to Noir by Christopher Moore, and this is the second book of Christopher Moore's that I've read. The first book was Lamb, and it was hilarious, and I loved it, and I gave it to a friend, and she loved it, and then she started reading more of Christopher Moore's books, and so for this month for our book club, we all decided like, oh, we'll pick one of his that we haven't read. She's read like 5 or 6, and so we picked this one just randomly. I will be completely transparent. I did not know what noir was. I didn't know that it was a genre of books, and so I kept thinking someone named Noir is going to pop in, or something with this is going to come up, and I kept wanting to know, what is this? And then when I finished the book, I looked it up, and then I was like, oh, it's a genre of book. It is like, it's a crime. Let me see. I wrote it so that it's a crime fiction with fatalism and moral ambiguity. And that is a good way to describe this. You have our main character, Sammy, and then he works in a bar, and a woman named Stilton comes in, and she's sort of that bombshell. Every guy in the bar wanted to talk to her, and he was the bartender, and so they start talking. He's very much interested in her, and he's kind of like, Stilton is an unusual name. And Stilton is a type of cheese, so he calls her the cheese. But this book is filled with all sorts of characters, and all sorts of interesting things. There is, there's murder. There are secret agents. There is a black mamba named Petey. There are trips to Chinatown. There are restaurants that serve snake urine. There are aliens. There's crooked cops, and but there's a comical side. So it's sort of that dark satire, but it made me think of Dick Tracy. But yeah, it's So the last 100 pages of this book were hilarious and so enjoyable to read. He wrapped everything up only the way that, you know, he does with his writing style. And so it was just a really fun read. But, you know, in book club, as we're discussing it, one of the questions that came up was like, you know, does the title match the book? Like, was it good? Would you change it? And I was thinking, like, you know, I don't know that I would go so far as to say that I would change it, but it definitely, for me, because I didn't know what noir meant, you know, like I said, I was looking for it while I was reading. And so there's just kind of a funny side note. So that was Noir. And then I don't have the dust cover for this, but this is Wonder, and it's by R.J. Palacio, and I'm reading this with my daughter. This is about an 11-year-old boy named August. They call him Augie Pullman, and he is going into public school for the first time in 5th grade, and he has the Treacher-Collins syndrome, which makes the skin sort of almost look like it's burnt, like it droops down, like his eyes are further down on his face, and his ears don't necessarily look like ears, so physically you can't miss it. You know, it's very noticeable, and he's going into public school with children. So of course the parents are nervous, he's nervous. He's had, I think it was like 24 different plastic surgeries, and he's only like 11, to create, not so much, I mean, it is for the aesthetics of his face, but it's so that like his mouth can close properly. You know, there's a lot of things, and so they did make this into a movie. I haven't seen the movie, but we're going to watch it after we read it. I'm reading this with my daughter. She's also 11. And so we're both really enjoying it. We are at the point right now where his sister, Via, I've been calling her Via, and then I realized that her name was Olivia, and that was the Via. We're getting her perspective. And so it's very interesting. It's been very good, and she wants me to keep reading, so that's always a good sign. So we're reading this one. And then the last one is Shatter Me, and this is a YA book. When I picked it up, I'll be honest with you, that cover got me. The eye with the branches and the water and like the tree, I just thought that was like stunning. It's and I enjoyed it. It was good. It was very good. But it's a YA book. It's the first one in a series of like 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 books. And so we have the main character, Juliet. She has the ability to kill people by touching them. If her skin touches their skin, she can kill them. She discovers this on accident, and she's horrified by it. She's like just totally freaked out. And she does get locked away for this crime, and even her parents are like, they don't want anything to do with her. They're afraid of her. They're not really sure, but you don't get any other backstory other than that as far as the parents and her. And while she is locked up, she meets or sees again a boy from her childhood, from when she was in school, and she's not sure, you know, she doesn't want to get close to anybody because she's afraid of touching them and killing them, but she does, you know, try to figure out if she can trust him. She does discover that he has some secrets of his own, and so it was a really good read. It was really fun. Of course, the people that have her locked up, the bad guys, they want to, you know, obviously use her power for bad, and she doesn't want to. You know, she doesn't want to be used as a weapon. She doesn't want to hurt anybody, so she really wants to be just locked away in a room and not near anybody. And so it's obviously book one, so there's going to be a whole thing. So it's a really fun read. It was really quick. Now that I know what it is, if I see one in a little free library, I would probably grab it and read it because it was enjoyable. I would not like seek them out or order them or buy them. But this is definitely one where the cover got me, and I was like, that's really cool. I like that a lot. So really good month of reading, aside from the Cellar and that little, but so here are my books for September. It was a good reading month, and I'm really looking forward to October. I'm really looking forward to the spooky season and the Halloween books, and so that is what I will be doing next. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I will be reading.